A lot of people love talking about the law of attraction. We get so many questions in. Paul, how can I bring things into my life faster? This is very important when it comes to law of attraction. You got to close the gap. People normally want three things in life: more money, better health, and better relationships. Let's go for health. We had a lady that came to a seminar, I'm not sure now, 2 years ago. Her name is Jackie McEwen, a lovely lady. One of her goals was to get in a better health condition. She had a goal, and she had a big scary goal. At a retreat, she set this goal, to lose 10 stone. She sent me a message only 2 weeks ago. She lost 10 stone. We had a guy called Tony Marr, 76 years of age. He had a goal to climb Croagh Patrick. He also had a goal to lose weight. His grandson, Benny, came into these seminars 23 stone. He had a goal to go to 15 stone. My dad had a goal to lose 3 stone, the same thing. John S. from Ballincollig had the same goal. I can go on and go on and go on. John came to a seminar a year and a half ago, put pen to paper. He wanted to be in a certain position. He's working for BMW at the time, and to overlook the whole the garage. I remember he rang me, he said, Paul, I've written this goal down, this is scary, but the plan was to be there in 10 years' time. Came true. He also put pen to paper on family. He got married since and had a child. Mike Maloney in the same retreat put pen to paper. He was going to meet a partner and get married. He proposed last week. We had people who put financial goals down. In Ireland, for some reason, people don't like talking about money. Other parts of the world, they have no problem with money. The reason Ireland, because from 1922 to 1992, we were the poorest country in the Western world. And a lot of our parents and grandparents grew up with nothing. And when you grew up with nothing, like financial insecurity is a huge thing. But the tide has changed. The past 40 years, Ireland's one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And now people are starting to speak about money. And why not? Don't be ashamed to speak about money. Money's okay. Money's energy. So you're probably asking the question, okay, Paul, I get it. How do I bring this into my life faster? And this is it. I remember I worked very closely with Benny when he was 23 stone. In May 2021, he was 23 stone. He came in here, started eating sweets like crazy at one seminar. He complained about his weight for the first time. I was around him for months. He never complained about his weight once. Because I want to lose weight. I goes, okay, what do you want to be? I want to go to 18 stone. I goes, give me a proper goal. I goes, 15 stone. He goes, what? I goes, yes. And let's date it. It was Christmas Eve, same year, 8 stone in 8 months. He said, Paul, I'll never do it. I goes, that's the start of the problem. He goes, what diet do I need to go on? I goes, none. I goes, just send me, get a scales, a digital scales, and the more zeros on it, the better. There's a reason for this. I goes, I want you to do it in stone, because I'm just used to weighing myself in stone all my life. Send me a picture in the morning, send me a picture at night. He goes, what else do I do? I goes, nothing. So when he started sending me pictures in the morning, I got him to do a voice note back to me. And this is very important. Your subconscious, the deeper part of your mind, doesn't understand if you're visualizing something, if it's real or unreal. It takes it as fact. It cannot reject, has to accept. The deeper part of your mind is the part of your mind that breathes when you're asleep. If you get a cut, it heals it. When you were in your mother's womb for the first 9 months, it was brought you into this world perfect. The deeper part of your mind is connected to the energy that creates the worlds. Now that might be out there for you, have an open mind. So I said to Benny, you got to believe you're 15 stone right now. So you got to talk like you're a 15 stone. You got to walk like you're 15 stone. Even though you're 23 stone, you got to believe it. And bit by bit, he started believing it. Because every opportunity you get for the next few months, I want you to tell everybody you're a 15 stone machine. This is important, is the make-believe games. My best friend, who's around me for over 20, 25 years, went to one of my retreats last year. He doesn't go to many retreats. Came back from the retreat, says, no, because Paul, the biggest thing I got from this retreat is the make-believe games. Because I'm around you so long, I never got it. This is the key. As a kid, if you are playing with your dolls or wrestlers, you believe they're real. With your doll, you're giving it the milk, you believe it. With law of attraction, and this is where 99.9% people get it wrong. They don't play the make-believe games in their head. They don't do it. So me and Benny started doing this every day. Within 2 months, oh my God, he was telling me every day. He was going home to Lindsay, telling Lindsay every single day that he's 15 stone. Everybody saw him walk. They thought he was crazy. He was telling them he was 15 stone. on the Christmas Eve 2021 on my TikTok, go and see it today, with no pre-weight, jumped on the scales, it went from 14, 13 to 15 stone. Now, this is very important when it comes to goals. If you have a goal and it's self-centered about you, I'm losing the weight, I'm not going to help anybody else. I'm going to make $1 million, I'm not going to help anybody else. That's not going to work. If you want to make $1 million, who are you going to help? How many schools are you going to build in Africa? What are you going to do around the world? Are you going to help penny dinners? Are you going to help street angels? What are you going to do? Who are you going to inspire? Then Benny did it with a guy called John S. from Mary O's in Ballincollig. John had the same results, lost a few stone. John then inspired my father, did the same thing with my father, and my father lost a few stone. And this is how happens. You help people. People have changed their careers around this stuff. But this is very important now. You got to close the gap. You got to close the gap, as I said. So if you're driving a Ford Fiesta right now, and there's nothing wrong with a Ford Fiesta, and you want to be driving a Mercedes, you got to love the Ford Fiesta. You got to love everything about it, but believe you're in a Mercedes. If you're in a job, and this is a big one, and you want to be in another job, you got to fall in love with the job you're in. You can't get to a better job hating the job you're in. You can't get to a better financial condition hating the financial condition you're in. You got to close the gap. You got to believe you're financially abundant. You got to believe you're healthy. You got to believe you're in the best relationship of your life. And once you start putting this into practice, your whole life will change. My friend Jer was out doing a job out in Ballincollig only a few weeks ago. And she goes, you're the fella in all the Hello My Friend pictures. He goes, I am. She goes, you wouldn't believe, she goes, the difference of what he said to me in the seminars I've done in my life. He goes, what happened? There's a house down the road I always wanted. And he said, play make-believe games. I started going down to the house. I think it was Halloween or there was some night on, and she started giving everyone out sweets and stuff like that. People thought she was crazy. She didn't even own the house. But the make-believe games. She just got notified there, was it 2-3 weeks ago? She's getting the keys for the house. Don't think this stuff is for kids. This stuff is for all of us. Because what's life about? Life's about being happy. Life's about being free. Life's about the juices flowing. Another key for the law of attraction, if you know you're doing right, is the way you feel. There's a guy called Neville Goddard. Look him up on Instagram. He said, feeling is the secret. You got to be able to feel it. Thoughts affect the way you feel, and the way you feel determine what comes into your life. So when you feel good, when you feel frisky, when you feel alive, then you know you're doing it right. But if you feel lethargic, if you feel, oh, geez, I'm not sure about it. Oh, today, oh, God, I'm not feeling it. Then you're actually bringing all that anxiety into your life. Now, this is very important. A few years ago, I lost every single penny I had. When I mean everything, social welfare I was on. And I was grateful to be on the social welfare. So I understood the law of attraction. I was doing this stuff for years. So when I was on a comeback, 5% of the day, I believed I was financially free. 95% of the day, I was focused on the bills at home. I had a partner at the time. I had 4 kids. I couldn't put food on the table. I was 6 months behind on my mortgage. But I knew this stuff worked. I was in an office down Little Island. Again, my friend Jer came down, and on the board I had all the Abraham Hicks sayings. Every day and every way, my income level is getting bigger and bigger. Money comes to me easy. I had all these sayings on the wall. But when someone came into a meeting, I'd be embarrassed. I didn't want no one to see them because I had nothing. So Jer came down and he kind of put a blind over them. And when you put the blind down, there was a picture in New York. And every day I say, I own New York. Then 15% of the day, I believed I was financially free. Then 30%. See, I was closing the gap. So when you do this at the start, you're not going to believe you're a millionaire straight away. You're not going to believe you're 15 stone straight away. You're not going to believe you're in the best health all day, every day straight away. But if you can believe for a small part of the day, that's the key. A lot of people, when they look at the law of attraction for the first time, think they have to have it nailed on the first day. Absolutely not. If you spent the past 40 years in a negative state of mind, you're not going to have a positive one straight away. It takes work. It takes practice like everything else. But then what happens then? When you get 51% of the day, boom, real momentum is there. And what happens then? The universe then starts showing up things. Because everything's about frequency. What's frequency? As you think thoughts affect the way you feel. That feeling has a vibration. We call it good form or bad form. That frequency goes out into the universe. Then the universe gives you back situations, circumstances, and events to match what you're putting out. So as I said, feeling is the secret. So when you start getting on that 60%, 70% momentum, where your mindset is really now looking at the opportunity instead of looking at the lack. What happens then? The universe has to deliver it into your life. It has to be. This is mathematical. This is science. It's universal laws. There's universal laws that govern this whole planet. And when you learn how to manipulate that energy, use it in the right way, then it has to show up in your life. This stuff works all the time. It doesn't work part-time. Whether you like it or not, 24 hours of every single day, you are attracting things into your life. So if you're not happy what's in your life right now, just examine it. The thoughts you've been thinking for the past 3 months is what's in your life today. If you want to change what comes into your life in the next 3 months, you got to change your thoughts today. Every sage through the history of time have agreed on one thing. You are a product of your thoughts. You are the director of your movie. There's an intellectual faculty we have called reasoning. What is that? You have the ability to choose or reject thoughts. 99% people don't think for themselves. I got offended when I heard that too. And let me give you an example. You go around someone today who's very negative. If you leave that conversation and your head is negative, you took on all their thoughts. You don't have to. This intellectual faculty, reasoning, you have the ability to reject the negative thoughts and just take the positive. This stuff is amazing. Apply it in your life and watch the miracles happen.